Karen, I am so looking forward to this conversation, to hearing all the fabulous things that you are up to. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me. I'm so excited to share this message.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh. I can't, and I want to dive right in, but I don't want to forget, like I do sometimes when I just am so entrenched in these great conversations, to ask you, how are you saying yes to yourself in this season?
Oh, wow. I'm saying yes to things that I'm aligned with
Yeah.
in my family, my business, my future, and I'm
Mm.
leaving things to say no to that doesn't align with where I'm going.
I am obsessed with that answer because it's true for me and it's true for everyone listening. The year that alignment was my word,
hmm
ooh,
Yeah, it's a big word.
I
It's a big word when you know what it is.
I cleaned house. I
Yeah.
mean, people that lived here had to move out and clothes moved out and relationships and calendar items.
Oh, God.
And
Yeah.
yeah, it's interesting. And I feel like that was 3 years ago. And last in 2025, I feel like it happened again. I had a woman on the podcast who's a numerologist and shared with me that 2025 was a 9 year. And in numerology, that's a year of completion. So
Yeah.
if anything that you didn't complete with by December 31st was going to be in your energetic baggage for 9 more years.
Oh, no, no, no.
I know. And I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta, like,
That
I
sounds
opened every
horrible.
drawer. I opened like a closet items. I was just clearing out. And with 2026 is a 1 year, and that's a fresh start. That's a new beginning. That's setting the stage and the platform for the women we're becoming. And it's just so beautiful with your work that it's all in alignment with all of these things that are happening on a global stage as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I always call it the freedom rise.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
say more about why you chose those two words together.
Well, a couple things. So, for women to really, I really give women an intimate experience that's designed just for them because we're such in burnout most of the time, right? And
Yeah.
emotional exhaustion. And I like to take women on a journey from burnout, emotional exhaustion, and doing everything for everybody else into peace and clarity, right?
Hmm.
Because understanding really where the draining of your energy is coming from, to take
Yeah.
a moment to go, what's draining my energy, like right now, right?
Yeah.
And then learning how to release that mental and emotional clutter that we just have going in our brain all the time, right? In our body, and
Mhm.
all this, that's happening, and reconnecting with what really feels good. Even when you go back in time when you were a small child, like, what did I really love that somehow I stopped doing, right? I mean, I have some women that I have one woman in particular I've been coaching for over a year that loved to dance and act when she was younger, and she put it aside because she got so busy with life and kids and like blah 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 blah. And it's like, let's tap back into that, right? And let's have you start dancing again, right? Like turn your garage into, so through a challenge, right? And she started dancing again, and now she's acting again, and like this whole new world that she has, because she was able to like take enough time, give herself permission to pause and really reconnect with that, to really rest and reflect and take intentional action.
Yes.
And so that, holding all these plates in the air and figuring out which is falling and then dealing with that. And, we just deal with so much as women, right? It's just giving
Right.
ourselves permission to just stop and rest
Yeah.
for a moment to really understand what we need, even if it's just in the next hour.
Right. And I think that that sounds so good. And we're like, yes, yes to pause, yes to pattern interrupt. Yes, you should totally do that. But there is no way that I don't have space to do all the things I have to do already. How am I also supposed to find time to rest and pause? Is often the mantra that is in our head. And we see these people. I mean, maybe even people see me. I'm off to France again. I'm off to, do something dreamy in my barn. I'm doing all these things. You're doing all these things. And it feels like an oxymoron that pause is actually fuel, that these pattern interrupts are strategic rest. They are clarifying. All of these things are identifying, like you said, what the energy leaks are, what the sandbags to our hot air balloon
Mhm.
are, and how we can do that. So how, if someone says, yeah, that sounds really great,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But how do you
how
do
in the
that?
world am I going to implement? So, do you have a process that you're working with your clients that just kind of helps them get started to even entertain the idea of having parts of their life that are just theirs?
Yeah, so I think we got to start by asking some questions, right?
Yeah.
And I will say that I got so out of whack and so overwhelmed in
Yeah.
2010 that I literally stopped and would just cry because I was like, I don't have one moment in time to
Yeah.
even like hydrate myself, right? And
Mm,
I'm like,
right.
this is crazy. Like I can find the time. The problem that I had for myself was that I was doing all these things that I thought I had to be doing, and the messages from my childhood, like do it all, and put your stuff aside and take care of everyone else, right? There's all these messages that we have, and we bring those forward in our subconscious beliefs, and then we just keep going and we never
Yeah.
stop. The first question I always ask is like, what is your relationship with the word selfish?
Mm,
Because that's a word that is not really like taken. We're not supposed to be selfish, right? We're
yeah.
supposed to do for everyone else and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, no, 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 no. Remember when you're on an airplane? If you have never been on an airplane, what they say is put your oxygen mask on first so you can take care of others, right? You need to put
Yeah.
yours on first so you can take care of the child next to you, right? And it's the same thing. It's like we need to find ways how we can take care of ourselves first, even if that means you wake up an hour earlier in the morning,
Mhm.
to really like take time for you to figure out and give yourself permission of what do you need today, so
Yeah.
you don't get back in that on that hamster wheel and you're
Right.
exhausted from 6 a.m. until 9 p.m. and there's no time for you, right?
Yeah.
Because what happens is, as you know, when we don't have time for ourselves, we're doing nothing for ourselves, then
Hmm.
we get tense and like we don't really have vitality. We get sick. We
Right.
don't have harmony. We don't have peace. We don't have unity with others. We're just go, 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 going. And
Mhm.
really, if you stop, we're really quite miserable in that.
Yes.
So, my first permission to actually take a moment to myself was a walk to the mailbox.
Mm.
It was that small,
Yeah.
right? To just go, I'm just stopping the noise right now before I
Right.
explode. And I'm just going to go grab the mail. I'm not even going to open the mail. I'm just going to take a walk outside.
Yeah.
And that became my thing every day. Is like being able to do that. And then I was able, like, wow, that felt really good. Like, what else
Yeah.
can I do for me? Right? Well, I can get up a little bit earlier and have my cup of coffee before I get my dog out,
Hmm.
for the day. And I can just like literally like meditate, just be with
Yeah.
myself, go
Yeah.
outside and like just take some sun in, right? Whatever it is for you. It's not a whole big thing. It's a little
Right.
tiny thing,
Yeah.
right? But what it is if you take the little tiny thing and you actually do that every single day. So like the
Right.
mail, we have to pick up our mail, so go to the mailbox every day if that's what works for you. You're going to see like, wow, I really like that. I want to do that a little bit longer. Now you're walking around the block.
Right. Right. And I think an element which you are intending in this, and I'll just add to the for the listener, is being present
Hmm.
for yourself in that moment. Getting the mail is not adding one more thing to your very full list. It
Right.
is a retreat for yourself to be outside, to feel the air on your skin, not to look at all the things that have to be done between your door and the mailbox, but it's really just to be, like you said, getting up early and holding space for yourself while you enjoy your coffee, while you reflect and set intentions for the day ahead.
Yeah, so, and it really goes back to, I mean, I can tell you my experience,
Yeah.
of growing up, as a little girl, a 12-year-old girl. Um, I remember my mom told us that she was having another baby. This is a fifth baby. If there's five
Oh,
of us.
okay.
And I already was sandwiched between two boys,
Mm.
15 months older and 18 months younger, and then another girl 6 years younger than me. And so then another one, right? So basically, I already thought that I didn't matter and I wasn't loved because, and again, these are just words that I put stories to, right? In my
Mm-hmm.
imagination as a small child. And that clearly wasn't true because, I asked the questions later on in life, like, we never heard that, that I loved you, but even my dad said, but we did love you. We loved you through just life. And I'm like, well, that makes sense now to me because that
Right.
generation didn't do that. And now we're doing complete opposite stuff, right?
Yes.
But my little 12-year-old self, when my mom said that, I ran to the bathroom, locked myself in the bathroom, and sat on the floor and cried because I was like, "There's not enough love already from me. Like now, there's really going to be no
Mm.
love." So,
Mm.
my message that I took into adulthood was I wasn't loved, and then of course I didn't matter,
Yeah.
right? And so, if I found out later in life by doing the hard work that I am loved and I do matter
Yeah.
and I have more than enough truth in this world today that I can see that. So there's no
Yes.
evidence of that now, right?
Right.
So I can go back and heal that piece, that little girl, right? But I had to matter enough to me to
Yeah.
breathe,
Yeah. For
which
sure.
was the walk to the mailbox, to stop and
Right.
say, whoa, I need something for me
Yeah.
right now. So, and another example that I have is like I was dehydrated for 10 years and I didn't even know I was
Mm.
dehydrated because that was my norm.
Mm.
And a lot of women can relate to something that's normal, that we are on the rabbit wheel and it's just normal. We feel
Right.
like it's just okay, right?
Right. And whether it's dehydration from actual allowing water into your body,
Yeah,
or are you starving yourself, like affection, conversation, connection in your marriage, with your friends,
yeah.
in your
It's
family of
all
origin?
kinds of stuff.
Right.
All kinds of stuff. But then when I realized when I got really sick and I had to drink more
Yeah.
water, and then all of a sudden I'm starting to feel better and I'm not getting sick and I have
Mm.
more vitality and I'm eating healthier, then I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
wow, that was really bad. And
Right.
for me, for my health and my beingness, right? And so now when I get sick or something and I get dehydrated, I immediately know what that is. And I'm like, well, let
Yeah.
me take care of myself,
Right.
right? And so now I always have, a cup of water with a straw in it because if you give me a water bottle, I'll never drink it. So I figured
Okay.
out what works for me, right? But
Right?
taking a moment to figure out what works for you. And that's why
Yes.
I'm like, I end up telling women it's like this, my pause method is just a framework. And if somebody wants to get, into my course, you can find it on my website. And we can talk about the steps of it. However, it's something you can do right now. Like just give
Yes.
yourself a moment to go, what do I need right now for the next 10 minutes? For me,
Mhm.
I mean, I have women that started with the mailbox pause, and now, like I said, they're walking around the block, and that's just for them. And their little kids are like, "I want to go with you, mommy." But now that was in the beginning. She's like, "No, I just need a little 10 minutes for myself." Right now, the kids are like, "Mom's going on her walk. Mom, take all the time you want."
Right.
Because when we actually take care of ourselves, just by osmosis, our families get to be taken care of.
Right.
But we're
Yes.
not giving ourselves permission to take care of us.
Yeah.
The family will be so much better.
Right.
We just have to give ourselves permission to do it.
Right. I mean, it's what we're saying all the time here on the show. When we say yes to ourselves, everybody wins.
Yeah.
But it's hard to believe because, I create and curate opportunities for women to say yes to themselves. And they're very dreamy, fabulous things, like come to Paris with me, come
I want to come to
to,
Paris. I'm
right?
signing up for that stuff.
Right? It's so fun. Or, stay at my bed and breakfast during peony season and come to the summer solstice white party, and all of these things that feel really dreamy, that almost feel too good.
Yes, I get that. Because here's what happens. Even my retreats that I put on once a year, and it's a 3-day retreat, and it's going to be in Lake Norman, North
Oh,
Carolina, this coming June.
gorgeous.
So, but even a woman saying, "Oh, I don't have the money," or "I don't
Hmm.
have the time," or "No, that's not going to." Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Yes, you do. If you went to your husband and said, "Hey, I really want to go to this woman's retreat in June," right? Or go to your bed and breakfast or whatever it is with some girlfriends, right? Or
Yep.
just take that time for me for 3 or 4 days. I almost 100% a man would say who wants to support your beingness and who you
Right.
are as a woman and your femininity, right?
Yeah.
Would say, yes, please go. How much is it?
Right.
I don't even care.
Right.
Right. But it takes us putting ourselves out there and taking
Right.
the risk. One of my superpowers is courage. And
Mm.
I tell women this
Yeah.
because I'm willing to take the courage to ask for what I need, which was
Right.
I never used to do.
Yeah.
So it's the
Hmm.
hardest thing for me to be able
Hmm.
to ask for help.
Right.
So you have to be in so much pain sometimes that you're like, I can't take it anymore.
Right.
We don't really want to get to that point,
Please,
right?
let's not.
Let's not. Let's,
Right.
strengthen each other, encourage each other as women, like get on some communities. Like I have a free community on my website as well. Like we'd get together and talk about the
Yeah.
challenges that we're having every week, and like how can we help each other and lift each other up, right?
Right.
And learn new little nuances that can keep us going.
Yes. And trust that everyone is going to be fine, but it's going to be different. If you
Yes.
are not there, the dishwasher is not going to get loaded the way that you load it. And they might not have the lunch that you would have packed, or beds might not be like, it's not going to be the same while you're gone. It's not supposed to be the same while you're gone. And all of the stars don't have to align on the calendar for no human in your charge or proximity to be completely unaffected by your absence before you're allowed to go. And it's not even a spouse that is making that the parameter before you're allowed to even ask permission. It's ridiculous. We do that to ourselves.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think, it's interesting I've been talking about this subject a lot, the masculine versus the feminine, right?
Yes.
It's like I see and I coach a lot of women that are so in their masculine because they
Mm-hmm.
feel like they have to because the man
Right.
is at work or doing whatever. And I'm like, no, you don't have to. Like,
Mm-hmm.
let's tap back into our femininity and the nurturing and the caring, and you can still have a great career and you can still be a powerhouse woman out there,
Right.
running an organization, being CEOs and CFOs and all these things, and you can still tap into your femininity,
Yes.
right? So, and I think that really men would love that, right?
Yeah.
To be like, let's be feminine and have them step up and be more masculine, the masculine piece, and conversations change. And I see these memes where the woman's got the kid in the uh, wagon and pushing the wagon with two things holding, and the man's on the phone with his just with his phone with his head
Yeah.
down in front of her, and I'm like, what the heck has happened?
Exactly. Exactly. Like we're co-creating it.
But we're doing it. Like, why not
Mm-hmm.
say, hey, can you push the wagon? Pull the wagon, or here, can you grab the groceries out of the car? Like, why are
Right.
we having to do all this stuff? My son, when he was it was junior prom, I think it was. Was it junior? It was junior. I went, you go to the house that they're taking the pictures and stuff,
Right.
and he goes around to his side of his truck, and the woman goes around to get in the car, and I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa! I didn't even really know this girl, but I'm like, no, 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 no,
Right.
no, don't touch that door. I'm like, dude, and I said it, and because I was waiting for the
Yeah.
dad to say it, but he didn't. And
Right.
so I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna say it because I'm not gonna raise a kid that's not gonna open the car door for a woman,
Right.
right?
Right.
So he
It's
came
important to
around and
you.
he
Yes.
did it, and now he does it,
Good.
right? But there are women, and it's hard for me too. It's hard for me for a long time to wait for a man to open the car door because I was so used to doing it myself. I
That's
mean, I
right.
was single for years, raising three
Mm-hmm.
kids as a single mom. So we do tend to do all this stuff, but if we stop for a moment and like, how do I want to be cared for as a woman,
Right.
right?
Right.
Like really ask that question and then start putting some things in place.
Right. And the man is going to be delighted to do that
He will.
because they like to be needed and they like to know what we need.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I wasn't always good at that. I am now a single mom, so clearly I wasn't good at asking for what I needed. I thought that it was obvious. And I thought if I kept doing everything that I thought he needed for him, that that would somehow make him do everything that I needed for me. I mean, it was just this 22 years of mystery because I couldn't believe he couldn't read my mind since I could read his.
Oh my gosh.
And
Yeah.
right, I mean, it's just, you just don't know it's going to be 22 years of that. You think tomorrow's going to be better and tomorrow's going to be better. And then it wasn't. But all
Some of
to
the
say, like we can tap into ourselves and find out what's important to us. And we can require the other people in our lives to have a role in providing what's important to us, just like we do for all of them.
Yeah, and you can ask some really if you're vulnerable enough to ask some really deep questions. I remember I went through a self-development class. Oh gosh, it's been 15 years, I think. And one of the questions, it was a difficult, you sit in front of, the other person across from you. And obviously, if there was a husband and wife, great, or boyfriend, girlfriend, but sometimes you're sitting across somebody you really don't know. Um, and the question was, how do you like to be loved?
Ooh,
Like, how many people ask their mate that?
right,
I'm like to really tell somebody how you like to be loved.
right. And
You know?
to revisit that question because it might evolve.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm just, I'm back in the dating world now after like I don't know
Congratulations.
how long. Yes, and interesting enough, the conversations that we're having um, are really, really deep.
Yeah.
They're
Right. Because
really,
we're
really
not
deep.
effing around this time.
I know, right? It's just,
Yeah.
yeah, like it really is. It's like what, yeah. So, and some of them are really uncomfortable, but it's like it's okay because like
Mhm.
why not?
It's
I mean,
being
we don't come
discomfort,
from the same homes,
right?
or did we go to school with each other, or
Hmm.
did we know about the other relationships that you had with other people, and we're
Right.
different people than we were before. People always say, "So how can you raise three kids and they're all different?" I'm like, "Because I was a different parent. I was a different me
Exactly.
every 6 years."
Exactly.
Right? So we're
Right.
always growing and evolving, and we just have to remember that. But I think just pausing, just to make a conscious effort to pause, just to stop for a moment and just be still long enough to hear what is your truth. And
Right.
I think for women, we don't even know what that is.
Right.
We really don't know what that is because we haven't taken the time because we're just so busy doing everything for everybody else. And
Hmm.
that's kind of why I created this framework um, for the pause method that I created. Um, it just takes you through a real self reflection awareness
Right.
to really go, how am I playing life?
Hmm.
And is the story in my head, which is made up of words, is it a lie or is it a truth?
Mm.
And I would say that most of the time it's past conditioning that we're
Yep.
not really realizing what we're doing. It's kind of like
Sure.
when you're a small baby, right? And you learn how to to eat and pick up the spoon. We don't always hit our mouth, right? We're like
Right.
hitting our cheek, it's all over our face, the spaghetti, all kids with spaghetti, right? It's all over the place, right? But then eventually we learn. And now as adults, or even teenagers, we don't miss our mouth very, we don't do that, right?
Right.
It's like driving a car, right? When we first learned to drive a car, and we're like looking at the rearview mirror and the side mirror, and we're worried, and we don't want to kill the person that's sitting next to
Yep.
us because we've never driven before, right? And I learned on a clutch, so man, I had the whole
Same.
so but now I can like put lipstick on, I can drive with my leg, I can whatever,
Right.
because we just know, and then we don't know how we got in our driveway because we're on such autopilot. And so
Right.
that's like how we live life. We're just on autopilot so much, just doing,
Yeah.
doing, 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 and we're exhausted.
Yeah.
And so I want to give women a safe container to go, let's just pause for a moment, okay,
Right.
in time, and let's really look at what's working and what's not working. Let's just unravel it a little bit. You know, what story am I telling myself?
Hmm.
Because, you know, most of the times we stay busy out of fear, and fear really is bringing things from the past forward. Because if
Right.
you really look at fear, we really don't know what's going to happen when we get off
No.
this call. I don't have any idea what's going to happen.
Right.
And so if I really don't know what's going to happen and I'm really not pulling past history, like if you didn't have any history, we would just be free spirits, right?
Right.
And so, I encourage people like just take that fear anyway, acknowledge it, and just keep going.
Sure.
Don't
Right.
stop.
And ask, like, what message do you have for me? If you're a journaler, I was in a journaling practice with a woman named Amber Ray, and she asked us to identify what emotion, uncomfortable emotion we were experiencing. So whether it was fear or anything else, and just ask it. Like in the journal prompt was, "Hey Wendy, this is fear talking and this is what I
Yeah.
need you to know." And then just write whatever comes out.
Yep.
And it's so telling because you can see, oh, oh, that's sweet. You're just trying to protect me and you're 5.
Yep.
And it's
Yep.
okay. I've got this. And I can speak more kindly to you in the journal, to you, fear, in my journal than I might if I just let my thoughts on autopilot berate myself for either being afraid or berate myself for entertaining the thought that it could be different or better for a moment.
Right. And I will say, I mean, I know people in my life, they stay so busy in
Mm-hmm.
fear of not having control, in fear of having to take a moment, and
Yeah.
they're scared of their thoughts, right?
Right.
And so it's like, this world, I always tell people I have a little genie lamp and an Aladdin lamp on my desk here because I coach on to be very nice to your genie and your Aladdin, which is whatever you're
Mm.
thinking and whatever you're feeling, because it's going to present people and circumstances where
Yeah.
you're not healed, what you're
Mm-hmm.
saying, right? And so it's like, what is the situation trying to teach me?
Yeah.
Because that's all it is. I'm here to learn for as long as I'm on this earth,
Right.
right? And find as much unity and harmony and peace and vitality in my life as I
Yes.
possibly can.
Right.
So if we grow up and we have this sense that we don't belong because of some message someone gave us or whatever's happened in your past, right? Um, you know, you, what we automatically do, because we create the strategy of isolating ourselves because we don't belong,
Right.
right? And I'm like,
Right.
well, is that true or not true? Because if you look around, you do belong. You have some community, you have whatever you have
Right.
in your life, right? And so the only way to do that is to move forward and know that you belong and get into more communities and get out of that fear. And so then you create a unity in your life.
Right. Right. Right.
And it's the same thing with the disease in our worlds too, in our bodies, right? Because if we walk around the world saying that we're not enough, right?
Yeah.
Then we're going to create stress and we're going to create all this stuff that happens in our bodies and we're going to get sick, right? But if you actually know that you are going to be okay no matter what,
Yes.
and you start taking better care of your body and your health, then you do
Yeah.
have vitality.
Yeah.
Just like when I was dehydrated, right? I got really
Yes.
sick. I was sick a lot. And I didn't know why because I was just on this hamster wheel of doing the same thing, same. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. I got to stop being sick.
Yeah.
And sometimes it takes a doctor and sometimes it takes somebody else. But I just went and did a blood panel because I'm like, I need to know what's going on with my body. I feel amazing, but I still want to know
Okay.
so I can do something with it before
Right.
something happens, right? And so it all came back fine, which is
Yay.
wonderful. And yet,
Yes.
however, I'm taking steps to like go, I want vitality in my life. I want unity in my life. So I'm going to continue to create community, right? I want harmony in my life, right? And I want peace in my life. So all those things, right? So, and I'm working with somebody right now that basically, feels like, he's wrong all the time. And I'm like, well, where did
Mm.
that come from? Well, things in the
Right.
childhood that, that was his story. They was always wrong. So now what happens is he's saying the same thing as an adult, a young adult, but the same thing as an adult. Like, I'm always doing something wrong. You're never, da, 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 da. And I'm like, that's because you're creating situations
Yeah.
to make you right that you're always wrong.
Exactly. Right. Because you get what you focus on, whether you want it
Exactly.
or not.
Right. So that's not true. There's no judgment, there's no opinions. It's
Right.
just something that's happening, right? And
Yeah.
when you realize that nobody's going to judge you or have an opinion on that, although this world is very judgy, then all of a sudden your nervous system can relax a little bit,
Yeah.
and you can see a different world, which is why I help people get through that that whole process of going, okay, so if we're not living there anymore, and the truth is that you're not wrong and you're going to
Right.
be okay, you
Yeah.
can see people's nervous system relax. And then the question is, what would it look like
Yeah.
now, stepping out in the world, knowing that you're going to be okay and
Right.
you're not wrong in your own thoughts and your own actions,
Yeah.
right? And so it's a different world for people.
Right. It's a monumental shift.
It is. Yeah, it's huge. So,
It's
so
so
that's what we,
good.
that's what I take people through, right? Just, to really acknowledge the exhaustion, the fear, the resentment, whatever you're holding on to, right? Just
Right.
acknowledge it without any judgment or anything. And let's just tap into where it came from.
Yeah.
And then we'll need to leave it where it belongs. Some things
Right.
in my childhood are really good that I brought forward, and they're working for me in this new world, this new
Yes.
way that I live. And some things in that old world, I need to leave there. They don't need to
Right.
come here because they're not in alignment with where I'm going.
Yeah.
And so the more that I tap into me and who I am and the true essence of my beingness, and the more that I get to show the world my beingness, right? The
Yes.
better, like, it just happens that everything is better. Like, my relationship with my three children are amazing.
Yeah.
Like, we vacation regularly together, and that's such an honor that my kids still want to hang out with me and have fun
Right.
uh, as an adult children. And
It
I
is.
have four grandchildren. I have another one on the
Mm.
way, and
Congratulations.
thank you. And it's just this amazing world that I live in, and I get to
Yeah.
design whatever I want my world to look like.
Right. Right. And we are. We're
Yes.
we're all doing that. It's you're doing it intentionally.
Yes, it's
I'm doing it
intentional
intentionally.
purpose, and you can
Yeah.
still be a great mother and a great wife and a great partner and whatever it's going to be for you. You
Yeah.
still have all of that. So really
A
just
better
look at,
one.
like, what are the things that I want in my life, and let's design a life around it.
Yes.
Because here's the deal. Most people are looking outside of themselves. They're chasing something. They're trying to grasp at something, right? To make themselves feel better. It's all here.
Right.
It's all inside of you.
Yeah.
Like, literally, when you're in love with someone, it's not that person. It's the feeling
Right.
inside of you, that who you are when you're in love.
Yeah.
That person
Right.
just happens to be that person. So even in my dating world right now, I'm very connected, right? But I'm not attached to the outcome because I know I'm going to be okay no
Exactly.
matter what.
Exactly. So can you explain the difference between being connected and being unattached?
So for me, I can only explain it from where I come
That's
from.
right.
I'm very connected where I really want to talk to this person. I really want to, like, have really deep conversations with this person. I want to, like, I love who I am in this world
That's
of, like,
connected.
dating. It's a
Mm-hmm.
little scary for me also, to be that, that available to someone.
Right.
But it's good. I'm taking a risk, right? And so this feels really good, right? And traveling and doing all these things. However, if that person had decided that something's come up, or this is not working anymore, we're not whatever it's going to be, let's just anything, bring anything up. I would be like, would I be sad? Sure, I'd be sad. But,
Yeah.
like, it's going to be okay. I'm not attached to this outcome,
Right.
which means then I'm still going to be okay because
Mhm.
that's out there. And I
Exactly.
can be all of that I brought forward being with this
Right.
person. I can have it again
Yes.
because
Right.
it's
Because
inside of
it's
me. It's
you.
not
Right.
there. So
Right.
most people go, well, I want to be happier, and I need this, and I need this, and I need a bigger house, and I need more money, and I'm like, yeah, no, you are where you are.
Right.
Let's just work on this piece, and you can
Yeah.
have all of that.
Right.
So, like, if you live in a, 1,000-foot apartment, right, you can make that apartment look so amazing. You could
Mm-hmm.
spend lots of money making that apartment look amazing, and you will still be in your 1,000 square foot apartment.
Right.
But if you really want to grow and expand, you know, doing all that, eventually you're going to outgrow, you're going to need to move into a bigger place so you can grow
Yeah.
and expand. You can't just stay in this little 1,000 foot apartment, right?
Right.
And make it look really pretty.
Yep.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like, to grow and expand, to keep growing and expand. And that's why we're here, to bust out of that little tiny box that you're living in and go
Yes.
see what's possible.
Yeah.
Because in uncertainty, in the fear that you're feeling, in uncertainty, there's so many possibilities out there.
Yes.
You just need to put that fear where it belongs and go do it anyway. Because let
Yes.
me tell you, how many times have you had fear and imagined how it was going to play out, which stopped you from moving forward? And has it ever been that?
Nope.
No, never.
No.
Never I'm 63 years old. It has never worked out the way I imagined it. And so,
Right.
how many things have I not done or taken a risk
Mm-hmm.
because of my fear? And now I'm like, there's no fear. Even if I feel the fear, I'm like, I'm going to do it anyway.
Right. Right. Because we are just having this different relationship with ourselves and not outsourcing our power or our happiness.
Right. Right.
We're
So
just
true.
experiencing that in collaboration with another person. And when that collaboration is going to continue to grow and expand because they are also not outsourcing their power or their happiness, then it can continue to grow and evolve together. And if not, next.
Yeah. And if you really have true freedom when you get to that point, right? And it's just the baby steps. Remember, I said my first little baby step was walking to the mailbox, right?
Right.
I have women that actually get up in the middle of the night into a dark kitchen and just take their time. I know other
Yeah.
women that actually lock themselves in the pantry while their kids are doing whatever, just to take a couple minutes with some earphone, just like two
Yep.
minutes, just to like go, okay, whatever they need. But I think the biggest thing is like if you ask yourself, once you take these little baby steps, if you're free, if you really understand that you're free, right? And
Right.
you're whole and you're worthy, how would you show up in the world for
Yeah.
yourself,
Yeah.
right? And for others, right? And
That's
to
a
be able
beautiful
to
journal prompt.
yeah, and to be able to really rewrite like whatever that story is that you've been holding on
Yeah.
to that's really not working for you, right? And just
Yes.
pivot into all the new possibilities are out there.
Yeah.
Like if you have such a great imagination that you can like come up with all these fears and imaginations why not to move forward, then you
Right.
also have an amazing imagination that will take you far away into places like France and Paris and to your bed and breakfast and like all these places that we can go to, right?
Exactly.
So why not focus on that
Right.
and have an amazing love life and have an amazing friends and like,
Yes.
and all these things that you could be doing. And so that's
Yes.
what I'm creating now in my life with my kids. I travel from North Carolina to California every other month. I'm here a month and
Fun.
then I'm there a month, right? And so I'm creating that world right now where I have such strategic, amazing time with my kids and my grandkids and my dad and my mom and all these people in my life and my clients too. And that's what I'm focused on.
Oh my
While I'm also
gosh.
taking time to travel and do the things that I want to do
And date.
and date.
It's all so good and expansive, and you get to have it all.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that, Karen.
We're allowed to say no to the
Hmm.
things that no longer serve us. And we're
Yeah.
allowed to say yes to all the things that we want.
Right. It's no thank you and yes, please.
Yeah. I'm saying you're just being invited. It's invited to listen to yourself,
Yeah.
right?
Yep. And you don't have to justify it. You're not asking permission. You're not trying to get everybody on board for your way of thinking. You are sharing information, and
Yeah.
that information has been vetted. You did the work. You are in alignment. That is alignment. It's like I recently posted something on Instagram that felt very powerful. When I started writing, I didn't realize it was going to be like this very
Yeah.
powerful message.
Yeah.
And I had hundreds of people were responding to it, and that doesn't usually happen for my stuff. So hundreds of people are responding. I'm getting DMs. People that I know personally are texting me all of these things, and one person because I said effing. I didn't even like say the F word. I just wrote effing.
Mm-hmm.
And that person wrote, "You lost me at effing." And
That's
I
okay.
just thought,
That's okay.
wow, right? It's totally fine. And the first thought that came to my mind after wow was, oh, that's so interesting because that's where I found my voice.
Yeah, I mean,
I
there's somebody
lost
that
that
did.
person
Yeah.
and found myself.
Yes, 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 yes. So there are something, it's interesting. I had shown somebody my Sanctum um, coaching that I'm launching, and there's three pillars. One is, talking about the real shit is what it says,
Yes.
and so it's talking about the real shit, then unraveling your leadership style, and then like, and then literally, recreating what you want, right? So
Right.
about really having a voice, right? And so the person that I sent it, she goes, "Well, you lost me at the word
Yeah.
SHIT." And I'm like, "That's okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted you to look at this, like
Right.
to give me some feedback. That's
Right.
great feedback. That also
Totally.
was a certain generation,
Right. And
right?
I am
Perfect.
actually in my I will not be censored era, especially by someone who was like,
Yeah. Yeah. It's okay. Everybody is not going to like your stuff.
right.
That's not your audience. And
Right.
so, I think, yeah, it's interesting. I wanted to go back to something that you had said. One of the things that we do, and a lot of people do, is that in order to actually take a moment for ourselves, we always have to wait around for a crisis. Isn't
Yep.
that funny how a crisis happens and then all of a sudden we get
Right.
to stop, right?
Yeah. Because everyone will understand
That
that it's
too,
why
right?
I stopped.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I stopped, right? So, we don't have to earn rest.
That is right.
You don't need a crisis to deserve to take a moment to yourself.
Right.
You can stop performing so much, start listening to yourself, to your body,
Yeah.
because power really returns to you when you actually do that. When you
Mm.
start really listening to you.
Yes.
The tagline that I always use is slowing down isn't falling behind, it's catching up
Mm.
to who you were always meant to be.
Oh my gosh, that gives me chills. Say that one more time, please.
Slowing down isn't falling behind, it's catching up to who you all were always meant to be. But if you don't slow down, then you don't really know who you are,
Right.
right? So other people can see who you are. And so, like, if I was, to like spend some time with people and give people these words that I see in them, right? And they get really, really uncomfortable. And I'm like, let's sit in those words for a little bit longer because that's the essence of how I see you. You
Yeah.
don't see yourself that way,
Right.
but that's how I see you. And there's real power in that to really
Yeah.
own who you are and own the beingness that
Mm-hmm.
you are to yourself and to others. If it's not
Yeah.
working, then like let's tap into like, where we need to what do we need to change? What do we need to move?
Right.
What do
Right.
we need to leave in the past? What do we want to create in the future? And let's design the next chapter of everything you've ever wanted that actually will benefit everyone in your life. See, we have it a little backwards, right? I'm doing all
Right.
these things that's benefiting everyone else, but it's not benefiting you.
Right.
I mean, some of it is, and I'm like, wait a minute, let me back the train up a little bit and like start with me and like, who I am and who I want to be and that, and forgive that little girl or whatever you need to
Mm-hmm.
do in your life, right? And like let's like create this world and this
Yeah.
design for your life, right?
Yes.
And take some time to really unravel that stuff and have a voice and be seen and be heard and know that you matter and know that you're loved.
Oh my gosh. All of it is a giant yes, please.
Yes,
I
please.
have loved this conversation. Thank you so much, Karen. Please tell everyone where they can find and follow you, how they can be involved in your retreats and your programs and all the good things.
Yeah, so you can go to my website, KarenBartholomew.com. And you can go on Instagram. It's still Karen Bartholomew. I'm in a purple. So everybody goes, which one are you? And I'm the one in the purple blouse with short hair. I
Perfect.
don't have short hair anymore. Yeah, Facebook too, Karen Bartholomew. It's all the same. It's very easy to find me. And you'll find my free Sanctum community on my webpage. You'll find my course on my webpage. You'll find my retreat on there that's coming next June. And you'll find one-on-one coaching, group coaching. You'll find everything there that you need to know. And there's some freebies in there also. There's a journal, 30-day journal prompt freebie. Actually, I am writing the book, The Power of the Pause, so that's coming out. It just kind of shows the cover and a little bit about it. So find everything there. But thank you so much for having me. This has been such a pleasure.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I want to know more about your bed and breakfast in Paris and France.
Lots of good things. Well, we'll link everything in the show notes, all of your things and all of
Wonderful.
my things. Thank you so much, Karen. I really can't wait till the next opportunity to chat.
We'll do it again. Thank you.
Mhm.